we are not the only ones detecting what's going on these college campuses, guys. Some more reasonable college professors are feeling it themselves. There was this guy who made news yesterday. His name is Shai Davidai, and he's at Columbia. And he posted a bit that went viral, and he wanted it to go viral, where he was telling the students and their parents, don't come here. Don't send your kid here. He's from Israel, though he says he's an atheist, but he's outraged living in America as someone from Israel about the danger that now his, I think, 7 and 2-year-old are in and what's happening on his campus. Take a listen to this guy.
I have a 2-year-old daughter, a feisty 2-year-old daughter. She has 2 songs that are her favorite, Baby Shark and Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. And yet, to the pro-terror student organizations on campus, here and at Harvard and at NYU and at Stanford and at Berkeley and at Northwestern, my 2-year-old daughter is a legitimate target of resistance, and none of the presidents of universities all around the country are willing to take a stand. This is what cowards do. Last week, we had thousands of students chanting pro-terror. They were celebrating the rape of teenage girls in a music festival. Rape is never okay. If my amazing 2-year-old daughter was now 18 years old, I would never send her to Columbia, because I know that she will not be protected there, because the president of the university allows pro-terrorists to march on campus. We would never allow the KKK to march on our campus. People have asked me in the past few days, are you not afraid to speak up? You're putting your job on the line. You got it all wrong. I am speaking up because I'm afraid.
Oh my gosh. That was so powerful, Noah.
Yeah, that is bad. And he's not wrong. The other side has embraced thuggery and intimidation as the way they do politics. And it's not surprising that they support terrorist groups, because you'll notice the kind of the style of the activism on campuses, in like that clip you showed in the high school. They're not calling for like reasonable discussion. They're not calling for a debate. They're not calling for like education and facts. They're not trying to persuade anyone with like the legitimacy of their cause. They are intimidating people. They are marching, and they are doing it in a way that's aggressive, that's in your face. I think this has become one of the frightening things to me about the left in America is over this, in particular over the past few years, they've embraced this style of politics of like, let's get out on the street and let's break shit. Let's intimidate people. Let's smash things up. It is deeply illiberal. It is totally incompatible with living in a modern society. But they like it because it scares people, and these people get their jollies from scaring people. It's exciting to them. And I don't know, it's very asymmetric, because the Jewish kids on campus and like the non-pro-terror students on campus, they're not going to like punch these people in the face when they get in their faces, right? Like they're not going to behave like them. Because our kids are nice kids, and they're American kids, and they're not psycho lunatics. And so it's like this unfair fight. And so what you need to actually have is for the authorities on campus to step in and say, you're not going to behave like this on our campus. We're not going to do like intimidation and go and march in the streets cheering on terrorism. But they don't do that. And the leadership of the campuses are absent. They're absent partly because they support this and their fellow travelers, and they're absent also because these people are not leaders. And the way you become a president of a university today, or on the board of a university today, is not by having principles and courage. It is by being a weather vane and just going along with whatever, being sensitive to whatever people want and giving it to them. And so we have a real crisis on our campuses. And I just hope to God that students start leaving these schools. No one should give a penny to any of these schools. No
Not another
normal
cupcake.
person who is an alum of these schools should ever donate again.
There's a rank hypocrisy here too that I really think needs to be highlighted, which is that if any of the three of us were giving a speech tonight at Columbia University, right, the university would offer the students safe spaces, coloring books,
Yes.
puppies, right? Because Megan and Noah, we're very dangerous. I don't know if you know
That's
this,
right.
but people like us and Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro, we're all very, very dangerous. And if we were to appear on a college campus, that college would need to take significant steps to protect, right, the mental state of their students. Here, we have thousands of people chanting that they want to kill Jews. Look, I'm not going to cut them any break there. They're celebrating what Hamas did. And there are Jewish students in their dorm rooms. Are those Jewish students being offered counseling and a safe space and coloring books and puppies? I don't see a whole lot about that. So it's absolutely infuriating, and we're just expected to take it. It's bullshit.
And at the same time, Dave, now suddenly these universities like UPenn have found their commitment to free speech.
Right.
It's really important that we allow people to say how they feel. Where were you during the BLM protests, during when there was a counter narrative coming out from, heterodox thinkers like Glenn Loury and so on? Where were you during the whole just last week, not UPenn, which is the Ivy League, but Penn State, they banned Riley Gaines from going to speak because she thinks that women are real and only we can be them. Men can't be them. Where was the amazing commitment to free speech then, Dave? I mean, you and I have been on this show for how long now, talking about this thing, and now suddenly, they've seen the light.
Yeah, no, they don't believe in free speech. Free speech fits in with all of their other hierarchies, right? Remember, go back to Occupy Wall Street. I spent a lot of time at Occupy Wall Street, not as a protester, but because I was fascinated by it and I was writing about it. People forget their government, to the extent that they had one, used something that was called a progressive stack. Right. So when you showed up at Occupy Wall Street and you wanted to speak at the General Assembly, remember, and they all did like instead of clapping or whatever, the way that worked was you were scheduled to speak based on where you fell on the hierarchy of oppression. So if you were a Black trans lesbian, you were going to speak first or second. If you were a white guy, you might, you go get dinner or something because you're probably not getting on at all, right? I mean, this is how they operate. Speech is only valuable when it comes from the oppressed. So they don't believe in free speech. I mean, they never have. This is laughable.
And now, Noah, it's amazing. I saw you call attention to this today. We saw the same. UPenn, again, back to the Ivy League, UPenn, which is, they're like kind of ground zero for a lot of the madness right now. Although, they're getting a run for their money from Harvard and Cornell. But UPenn, instead of being like, my God, we're deeply sorry for our lunatic professors and students who are terrorizing our Jewish colleagues and students, they're doubling down. They put out a faculty senate statement in which they basically flip off these UPenn donors and I think chairman of their board who have said, as I've been putting it, not another cupcake. Not a cupcake at a bake sale. It's done until you have a course correction. And even then, we'll have to see. So they put out this message. I'll read you part of it. We write to affirm our commitment to freedom of thought, inquiry, and speech. Oh, it's so noble. So glad you finally got there. These values, it's literally laughable. These values are being threatened by individuals outside of the university who are surveilling both faculty and students in an effort to intimidate them and inhibit their academic freedom. These are three of the signatories here. Let us be clear. Academic freedom is an essential component of a world-class university and is not a commodity that can be bought or sold by those who seek to use their pocketbooks to shape our mission. What do you make of it?
This is like out of a Tom Wolfe novel. It's so perfect, and they've got everything, and it's also it's there used to be early in all this, there was a phrase called cry bully to describe these people that, I don't know, it was like popular for a couple of years and then it went out of fashion. And I actually would like to revive it because cry bully is the perfect term for this, because their behavior is always the same, which is they're both victims. And they also want to like beat you over the head with a baseball bat while they're crying about how unsafe they feel. And this letter is like it's like this amazing moment. I was actually surprised. I tweeted the letter out. Someone Penn sent it to me and said, "Can you tweet this?" And so I tweeted it out. And I've been shocked at how it's gotten like 1,000 or something retweets. And I was shocked at how much people are paying attention to this and how much this resonated as a perfect emblematic example of everything that's wrong with the campuses right now.
Freelance work is booming. So many people are taking the leap and starting their own business, but how do you maximize your earnings and minimize your taxes and make sure you are legally compliant? It can be overwhelming, confusing, and it takes time away from your own billable hours. That's where the experts at Collective.com come in. Collective was built specifically for businesses of one that are making over $60,000 in profit a year. Collective handles all of your back office work so you can focus on your passion and not your paperwork. And they can tell you how they can backdate your S-Corp and save you thousands on taxes this year. They handle business formation, compliance paperwork, taxes, bookkeeping, accounting, even payroll. Check out collective.com/Megayn before October 31st to potentially save thousands of bucks on your 2023 taxes. Yes, 2023 taxes. To sweeten the deal, they will also throw in an extra $100 off when you use my link. But you got to do it before Halloween. That's collective.com/Megayn to get started with your personal team of self-employed tax experts. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.